We're talking about being in a state of wonder. Okay? A state of wonder about being overwhelmed. And what do I mean by that? It's an old Benedictine prayer where this woman saint is saying, oh God, Lord, let me see the truth about myself, regardless of how beautiful it is. Did you hear that? Let me see the let me see the truth of my being, regardless of how beautiful it is. Now, this is to live in the overwhelm. Because the brilliance and the beauty and the love and the power and the confidence and the unlimited good that is within you, it will overwhelm your present perception, how brilliant you are. Now, most of the time when people say, let me see the truth about myself, they're looking for some kind of inner critique. They're looking for something that's wrong that they can improve. They're looking for the incessant egoic thought forms of limitation. Let me see the truth about myself, all the negative things I think and do so I can change them. But she said, oh no, let me see the truth about myself, regardless of how beautiful it is. This is to live, this is the wonder of the overwhelm. Now, I remember a number of years ago when I shared this in the other services, a number of years ago, I can remember waking up with a sense of existential dread. Felt totally cut off from life and totally cut off from the presence of God. And I literally crawled into the space where I would do my meditation. And I was having a dark night of the ego. Now, oftentimes it's called dark night of the soul, but the soul never has a dark night. And so the dark night of the soul, that's a misnomer. It's a beautiful way of describing the dark night of the ego, where the ego is losing its sense of identity, because you're changing, you're growing, you're developing, you've had a spiritual insight. When you have a spiritual insight, the ego is blind to the next level of consciousness, so it goes dark. In the same way that if you walk into a dark room and then you have to adjust, after a while you can see in darkness. In the same way, when you have a spiritual insight, the ego goes blind because it can't see that level. And so there has to be an adjustment where you begin to see the light that you formerly could not see. When that is occurring, that's a dark night of the ego. You feel separated. You feel cut adrift. You don't know what's going on in your life. It feels bad. The soul is going, go on, boy. Glow, glow, glow. The ego is going, melting. Anyway, I was having a dark night of the ego, and I heard the egoic voice say, I don't want to be this spiritual. It's like, I don't care what's going on. I'm tired of this stuff. This is too much. And anyway, as period of time went on, early in the morning, there was a shift. And I could see myself the way the presence of God sees me. I could see the brilliance and the light and the love and the beauty. And I could see that all the things that the ego was focusing on, the limitations, the mistakes, all that stuff was like a piece of lint on a new suit. And that this is what we do at times, though. We want to invite to know the truth about ourselves, regardless of how beautiful it is, and be aware that so often you're spending so much time on the incessant chatter of the ego and what you've done wrong and none of the mistakes you're making and all that stuff. And that is so small compared to the light that you are. Which is why Jesus the Christ could unabashedly say that greater things than these shall ye do, if you only knew who you are, if you only knew the very substance of your being. And so in this particular state of inviting the overflow, inviting the overwhelm of consciousness, we are being overwhelmed by so much good that you become keenly aware. Oh, look around the room one more time, and just get a sense. Get a sense of the brilliance that's here. Get a sense that, as I love to say, that you're prone to receive at the end of your life. The only thing you receive is that which you've given away. And so in this moment, as you're giving away this prayer, this love, this joy, this wisdom and harmony, this wholeness, oh my God, the overwhelming good that is taking over your life. Breath, release. Breath, release. Oh Lord, let us see the truth of who we are, regardless of how brilliant and how magnificent it is. Now here's the deal. The egoic structure sometimes gets a bad rap, and we want to break down, of course, that from an evolutionary context, the ego was that which protected this living experiment called a cosmic being having a body. God in the flesh. An individual that could actually expand their awareness to the level of the cosmos and beyond, have Christ consciousness, cosmic awareness, and have living biology at the same time. And so as the evolution of this species was occurring, the egoic structure was in place in order for us to have a level of differentiation and be able to have contrast and a sense of separation from anything that would harm us. So we could tell the difference from a wild animal. We could tell the difference from poisonous plants. And then in that very small state of awareness, we had tribalism, which means we could, after a while, we could tell the difference between us and another tribe, so we wouldn't wander off into another ground where we didn't belong. And so, as a matter of fact, there are still people on the planet now, we call them our younger brothers and sisters, who are still living in a very small perception of tribalism and would dislike people because of the colors of their skin, their sexual orientation, where they were born, what country, what religion. But be that as it may, that wouldn't be you here today. You have expanded your awareness, and so the idea is we have to keep on transcending the egoic sense of separation, because back in the day, it was a good thing to be able to separate yourself. But today, we need to be aware that we are at one with our environment, we're at one with the sky, we're at one with the earth, we're at one with the trees, we're at one with the rivers, we're at one with the ocean, and we're at one with all people. And so we are transcending the sense of separation. However, the egoic structure is still in operation, and if you could see yourself absolutely surrendering to the embrace of the overwhelm, you would be so loving, so kind, so generous, so creative. It would scare your ego. You would end up being like somebody like Mother Teresa or His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You know, it's like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that crazy. I want to, the ego's saying, we got to fit in. You know what I mean? We got to like walk through the world. And that's because it's like there's a fear. There's a total fear of becoming so ourselves that we won't fit in. If you really loved like the longing that you have in your soul, if you really gave like the longing that you have in your soul, if you really were as kind as the longing that you have in your soul, you would break all agreements with mediocrity. You would be in a divine celebration, divine generosity, divine giving. You would not fit into the normal state that you normally live in at this particular time. It wouldn't work, you see? And so you're inviting yourself to go to that particular level and be aware that the entire universe is backing that inner longing that wants to express itself by means of you. You're transcending, Lord God, let me see the truth about myself, regardless of how brilliant and how magnificent it is. And when you begin to live from that kind of overwhelm, the generosity of the Spirit, the love and the kindness, your bliss and your ecstasy quotient goes up, and your sense of protectionism, the ego protects you from being who you are. The mind says, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to be taken for granted. I don't want to be taken for a fool. And so you walk in a sense of normality, and then you relegate moments of celebration, moments of generosity, moments of kindness, and moments of total giving of the heart to special days in the week, or special days in the month, or special days in the year. I'm living for the weekend. It's my birthday. It's my anniversary. It's Christmas. It's Hanukkah. You take all of this cosmic celebration that's happening everywhere throughout the cosmos, and you try to squeeze it into very special days, and the universe is celebrating every single day. Every day it's a celebration. Every day, all of nature is in a dynamic celebration of its authenticity and its connection with the presence. But oh no, the ego that has a control over us, having us relegate our celebrations to special days, and then wait for something good to happen. As I said at the beginning of the service, it's already happened. It's called you, boo. Oh, look at the person next to you and say, and tap him or her and say, it's on you, boo. Turn to the other person on the other side or behind you and say, it's you, boo. It's already happened. Now, imagine yourself touching that inner longing within you, that inner longing to be yourself. You know you want to love. You know you want to be kind. You know compassion is the order of the day where you are concerned. You know it, but it's just, you want to just meet it out. You don't want to be overboard with it. You know, you want to be cool. You know what I mean? You want to be cool. Listen, we are here to make love, compassion, kindness, generosity. We're here to make that cool. We're here to make prayer cool. We're here to make meditation cool. We're here to make surrender cool. You see? And to so embrace. We're celebrating our intrinsic freedom and liberation and independence.